it's time to do my top 10 favourites of 2011, and it took me ages to narrow this list down, literally ages. I made a long list, I made a short list, and then I sat for about 2 days. You know, not 2 days straight, that would just be weird, but over the course of a couple of days I kind of narrowed it down finally. And then there's 3 stragglers at the end which are coming in on my honourable mentions kind of thing, which I always kind of slide in and hope you don't notice. So I just want to get started because I think that I'm going to talk quite a lot in this video because I have a lot to say. That's just normal for me though, I always have a lot to say. So with all that out the way, I'm going to get started. Favourite of the whole year, number 1, is actually quite a weird one for me because I don't talk about skincare very much. Because mainly because I kind of find skincare a bit boring, really. I just kind of get on with it and then see if my skin likes it, and if it doesn't like it, I go to something else. But I don't find skincare that actively interesting. So my first favourite is Bioderma Créaline solution. This is a micellar solution, which means that it does the kind of Pac-Man eating up the makeup instead of just kind of smearing it all over your face. This is such an effective makeup remover, and you wouldn't think it because it looks like water. It's also really hard to get hold of, but if you can get hold of a 500ml bottle, these actually really last a long time. The best thing about this is that it's really, really good for sensitive skin. It's unperfumed and it feels and looks like water, and when you put it on your skin it just removes all traces of makeup with absolutely no effort whatsoever. It removes waterproof makeup, it gets off the stubbornest of eyeliners. For me this is an absolute must, and the fact that I can use it on my face and my eyes is just perfect. The best thing about it as well is that it's not just a makeup remover, you can actually just use this as your daily cleanser. So if you shower in the evening and you want to cleanse your face for the day, this is a really, really good cleanser. I also love that when I get eczema flare-ups and I have broken skin with this, it doesn't hurt at all, it doesn't sting. My skin just absolutely loves this stuff. This is absolutely one of the best products of 2011. My second favourite product is one that I purchased fairly recently, a few months ago, and it is MAC's Matchmaster Foundation. With this foundation, MAC effectively revolutionised their whole way that they look at skin tone and colour. They brought out a huge new range of shades. So I'm shade 1.0, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's the perfect shade for my skin. It's a bit dark and it's probably a little bit yellow, but the point is that this is a really, really great foundation. I'm not one to buy that many foundations from MAC. There isn't really a reason behind that, I just never have. There are always better options for me. But when Matchmaster Foundation came out, I was really, really intrigued to try it. It's a really lightweight, light medium coverage foundation which has a demi-matte finish. So it's kind of a matte but slightly luminous effect on the skin. It doesn't look chalky, it just looks really, really nice. It looks really, really pretty. And for me to say a foundation looks pretty is kind of a weird thing to say, but it makes me feel pretty. It does have oil control properties in it, and in that regard I get about 9 hours wear from it, which is fine. I wasn't expecting miracles, however I think this is a really, really good foundation from MAC, and I was really impressed with this year. Another foundation I've been absolutely loving, and this is a really recent purchase, but it actually just shot to the top of my favourites really quickly. This is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. This is a lightweight foundation. It's a gel formula, so it's a little bit thicker and it spreads really, really easily. If you've ever tried MAC's Studio Sculpt, it's quite similar to that. It's very, very thick, but it really goes very smoothly over the skin, and it's really lovely to use. It is scented, so that might put people off with sensitive skin, and the colour range is pretty limited. This is shade 51, which is still too dark for me, and I tend to find that Bourjois foundations run quite yellow. But the application on this foundation is flawless, and every time I've worn this foundation in a video, people have commented that my skin looks amazing, and that's how I feel when I wear it. Just the way that it applies so beautifully, and then it sits so nicely on the skin. It doesn't tend to cling to dry areas too badly on me. It wears pretty well, it wears about the same amount as Matchmaster, I would say, and it feels weightless. It just lets you be naturally pretty whilst giving you quite a good amount of coverage. So for me this is a very impressive foundation from Bourjois. I was actually really surprised. The next product I want to talk about, number 4, is the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre eyeshadows. I seriously think these things are amazing. Whenever I put these on I don't get any creasing. I find these products to be a very innovative product. They have this weird texture, kind of like memory foam. They're sort of between a cream and a mousse and a powder in that sense. They dry down to a powder and they have a lot of beautifully fine shimmer which isn't gritty or sandy in texture. It's just a very, very smooth shadow. They do contain silicones in them and that helps them really smooth onto the lid really nicely. The best thing about these is I don't have to wear a base with these. I can just smear these all over my eyelid without any particular care and they last all day. The thing that I will say about these is that it's better to build them up in thin layers rather than going for a lot, because they're quite easy to blend out, and when I say blend out I mean completely away. If you try and blend these sometimes they just kind of disappear completely. But these are absolutely amazing eyeshadows and they were well worth the amount of money I paid for them, especially for the all-day wear without a base and without creasing. I think that's pretty much unheard of for me. So I'm on to product number 5 already, and my 5th favourite product of the year is probably one that you're not really surprised about. I've just done a review on it. It's Benefit's They're Real Mascara. I've spent the last year in a bit of a mascara limbo in that my beloved Eyeshadows decided to first change the formula of their mascara to a really crappy, awful formula, and then decided to rebrand themselves and relaunch and double the price of their mascaras. The point was that I begrudge paying a lot of money for mascara. However, this mascara is probably the first mascara in a long time where I've said it's worth it. It definitely is. There have been a couple of other mascaras that I've really, really enjoyed using this year, but this one really stands out in terms of the fact that it delivers what it says it's going to deliver. I get volumized, thick, curly lashes with this, and the curl lasts all day. My eyes look awake, really flirty, and just lovely. I just think this mascara is absolutely fantastic. For me, this is the perfect mascara. I honestly think it really is. The only thing I hate about it is the high price tag, which I feel is a bit over the top. However, I really like the brush on this, which really gives my lashes a lot of volume whilst keeping them quite separated and flared out and lovely, and I get really plush lashes with this, and I've never been really bowled over by a mascara so much for a very long time, so for me Benefit's They're Real has to be in my top 10. Product number 6 is probably one you're expecting as well. I fell in love with a beauty product this summer and I used it pretty much the whole summer long. And it's Becca's Lip and Cheek Creme in Tuberose, which is this beautiful pinkish coral, and it's just stunning. The thing that I love about this product is that it's very, very high quality, it's very well made, it's a lovely product to use. It's got quite a lot of slip to it. It's not a dry cream product, so it won't dry your lips out, but on the cheeks and on the lips it just works together to make this beautiful, summery, lovely, lifted complexion. It just really lifts my complexion, and I think that this would suit quite a lot of skin tones. I just think that Becca have really, really done a good job with this product. It's a really, really lovely, high quality product to use, and I love the fact that this is non-greasy and that it's multi-use. I'm a big fan of multi-use products, as you'll see from my next product that I've chosen, and I think this is a fantastic thing to just throw in your handbag. It has to be one of my top 10. So product number 7 is one that I've shamefully not actually purchased in full size yet, but I think that these products are probably one of the most innovative products that I've tried this year. They are the Face Atelier Façade, and what they are is a lip and cheek stain. The base for this product is silicone, so that might frighten a few people who have a sensitivity towards that kind of thing. and they look really scary. They look really pigmented and really hard to wear, but in reality these are incredibly amazing products. It's really hard to describe how they feel, but when you apply them on the skin they just slip over the skin because they're so smooth and because of the silicones in the formula. The colours really sheer out beautifully to create a lovely all day flush along the cheek. I don't get all day wear on the lips with these at all, but I do get all day wear on the cheeks. They just give you this beautiful sheer kind of jelly flush, and even the darker colours such as this brownish looking one, which is Godiva, are really wearable. They are absolutely beautiful on the cheeks and lovely on the lips, and they're really lovely fuss-free products. On the lips they don't have a glossy or sticky texture, they just feel very, very smooth, and I like them for that because in summer when I just want fuss-free makeup I don't want to be feeling even more greasy than I already do by having melting lipstick on my lips. Another blush product for number 8. These are the Daniel Sandler Watercolor blushes, and these are honestly a product that I completely fell in love with a few months ago. I just wondered why I took so long to use these. They are a liquid blush, which is quite an unusual thing unless you're working with kind of airbrush makeup. And they're so richly pigmented that you literally only need a drop, and I mean a drop. The texture is sort of weird. They're quite runny and they have an almost slightly gritty texture. But the colour payoff on these is phenomenal. They blend so effortlessly across the cheek. You can also use these on the lips, but I don't really like them that way because I find them quite drying and uncomfortable. Worn on the cheek you get all day blush, which just stays there. And added to that you get the colours that Daniel Sandler has put out are really well considered colours. They really lift the complexion, and that's what blush is supposed to do, but they really lift the complexion and they really work with a range of skin tones. So the ones that I have are Cherub and Pop, and I would say if you can get hold of Pop, which is the most beautiful watermelon flush I've ever seen in my life, you should. These are little bottles of joy. They fit in my makeup bag just perfectly, and I can't see any occasion where these wouldn't be perfect. They're amazing. Product number 9 is a lipstick, and it has to be said that the most impressive lipstick of the year for me was NARS Pure Matte Lipstick in Mascate. This is one of the best red lipsticks I've ever used, and there's no way to describe the wear of this thing. It's like the Terminator, it just goes and goes and goes. I can have a coffee, I can have some toast with lots and lots of butter or greasy kind of substances on it, and it stays. I applied this at 9 o'clock in the morning the other day. It stayed on till Kiwa got home at about 5, and it was still definitely there. It was a bit faded around the inner lip area, but it was definitely still very loud and proud. I think the wear on these things is phenomenal. Of course, with any matte lipstick, I mean, they are a little bit drying, so you should use a lip balm on top of this, but then I feel like that detracts from this beautiful deep red, strong kind of Hugo Boss Red advert. If anyone remembers the Hugo Boss Red with the girl with the really big eyebrows, this is what this reminds me of, Hugo Boss Deep Red. It's just a fantastic lipstick. I can't emphasise that enough. Even if you're scared of red, you may well find another pure matte lipstick which is going to be awesome. But Mascate is definitely one of my buys of the year. It's backup worthy. This is awesome. My final 10th product is a brush. You're probably expecting what it already is. It was the Illamasqua Highlight Brush. This brush is amazing. I think it's amazing because there's so many uses for it. The way that I love to use this is to apply cream blush because it's so small, it gets perfectly on the apples of the cheeks without splodging it everywhere from your eye to your chin. It blends beautifully because it's really soft and dense, and it's synthetic, so it doesn't pick up any pigment and soak it in. So anyway, this car alarm just went off for 10 minutes and I took that opportunity to apply more blush, which was a bad idea, and try and fix my hair, which was also a bad idea. But anyway, that was my top 10 products, and now I'm going to show you the honourable mentions. The first one is this Cosmetics a la Carte brow ink, and I was actually really excited to try this because I had been looking at it for a little while. I'm really glad that I got to try this because this gives me perfectly groomed eyebrows in next to no time. I absolutely love this. This gives just enough pigment that my eyebrows look really groomed and they just look very nice. I'm very happy with this. The final honourable mention is Chanel's Rouge Allure Laque in number 75 Dragon. The reason why this didn't hit the top 10 is because Chanel have decided to discontinue it, and I feel like recommending one of these products that is my product of the year in my top 10, which is being discontinued, I think it's a bit unfair. So I'm just going to say I absolutely love this. It's a beautiful jewelled ruby red lip lacquer, really thickly pigmented, really beautiful to wear. It has that kind of Chanel sunscreen scent about it and it's just lovely. It can sink into fine lines around your lips, but it's comfortable to wear, it's not too drying, and it's just an all-round pretty beautiful product. It's such a shame that Chanel is discontinuing this. So that is all of my top favourite products of 2011. However, I will be doing my least favourite products of 2011. Dun, dun, dun! For those of you who like a bit of drama and want to see me rant, that will be the video that you should look out for, because I will probably be at my best rantiness in that video, and you might get offended because I might slate your holy grail product. But so if you're easily offended, it's probably best that you don't go for that one. However, I'm also going to be doing my top favourite drugstore favourites, so stay tuned for that as well. Have a lovely day, everybody.